My name is Dr. Avery L. Taylor. Build a better you. Build a better you. Remember, you only have one life. That's all you have. You get one shot at this deal here. And learn to build a better you. And the question is, how do we do that? One way, learn to invest in you. Many times we find people invest in others. I want to challenge you to invest in you. Invest in your education. Invest in your health. Invest in your wealth. Invest in your faith. Whatever you believe, or whatever you believe, invest in it. And most of all, invest in a good relationship. And one of the things we can do to do that, learn conflict management. Learn how do I manage conflicts in my life? How do I establish good relationships where I can love as though I've never been loved before? How do I establish good leadership? In other words, what's bad, what's good, what fits me and how do I fit them? How can I move my life where I can maximize my potential in being a better me? As I began to share my story across the country, and I remember when I was in 3rd and 4th grade, I used to stutter so bad. I'm talking about stutter. My prefix and suffix was all messed up. And during this time in life, we had to learn a timetable. We didn't have computers those days, and we had spelling bees. If I was not the captain of my team, that means I was going to be picked last. Because when it came to me pronouncing these words, these prefixes and suffixes of my timetable, it just wouldn't come out. And then the teacher decided one day, they're just going to put me in special ed. And I was so happy, because put me in special ed, these kids, they worked in the flowers, they did coloring, they did all kind of good stuff. While we was in classroom trying to learn to read, they'd be outside playing hopscotch and merry-go-round, all this good stuff. They dealt with the little birds in the bird seat. They had a good time. But my mother came to school one day and told them, no, Avery Lee would not be in special ed. And I started crying. And they told her that he's dysfunctional. And I didn't know what the word dysfunction was, so the teacher said it, so to me, it was a good thing. But my mother, who was one of these Baptist Pentecostal mothers, she told her, you all may see him as dysfunctional, but I see him as a testimony. As life went on, I grew out of stuttering, and then I got to the place where I can learn some prefixes and suffixes and all those good words there. But I never forget the day that I got my PhD. And I told her, I said, Mom, I'm going in to defend my dissertation. And she started crying and praising God, all this stuff that Baptist / Pentecostal mothers do. And she said, this is a testimony. The point I'm trying to say, never give up. The things in life may be a dysfunction to you, but they can be a testimony for others. Build a better you. My name is Dr. Avery L. Taylor. My name is Dr. Avery L. Taylor, and welcome to the M1 File. I hope that you have had a beautiful weekend, as well as this week, everything is going well. The biggest voice down here now is Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. He had me crying. I mean, I was crying. The wife came in and said, why are you crying? I said, no, it's some allergy in the air. That's all it was. For him not knowing that he would ever walk again, yesterday, guess what he did? He got another green jacket. And I was hooping and then I was hollering. I said, hey, just do it, just do it, just do it. And even if you wasn't Tiger, we all go through something in life. All of us. Don't care how wealthy you are, you're going to go through something. Don't care how poor you are, you're going to go through something. But the most important thing is to look at what you have before you and say, how can I become a better you or a better me? How do we do it? Never think that life is perfect. Never think the person next door to you or beside you have all the answers. You always will hear me say, God has given you a gift or skill or some type of talent, and that is embedded within you. In order to be successful in life, however we define the word success, because your definition may be different from my definition. Why? Because we all start off at different levels. Someone started here, someone started there, but as we move through life, we're going to stumble. Many of us, we're going to fall, and then we learn from the stumbles, we learn from that defeat, and we get better. But we have to work at it. And I know the word at the end of a sentence, that's not good English. So if my teacher, Mrs. Spears, can hear me use that word, now she would twinge and say, Tell, what is your problem? But hard work will pay off. Many times I hear people say, if you have a desire for something, if you have a passion for something, they say do it, that you will never work again in your life. I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. Because I have a passion for blues and jazz. Love it. I love good blues. I love good jazz. But guess what? It don't pay the bills. I can't even play an instrument. But my passion, I love it. I mean, when I say I love it, I can just listen to blues and jazz and just sit there. Because it makes me meditate. I love the lyrics. But what's wrong with hard work? What's wrong with it? Hard work does pay off. Even if you stumble sometime, it pays off. Why? A lot to learn from that. This weekend, Tiger Woods paid off. Some say he would never win another game. Some say he would never get up. Some say he would never. He might as well go home, get in a rocking chair, and say goodbye. But because of hard work, he proved them wrong. And then again, most important, don't live your life for others. Live your life for you. One of the first books that I wrote, and it's called Build a Better You. And my whole life kind of centers around this. Build a better you, build a better me. How do we do that? And there's many people across the country, especially when I give lectures or when I work with students, even when I work with some parents, many people want to write. And they said, I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I want to challenge many of you who have to listen to me now. If there's a book in you, write it. It doesn't have to be a perfect book, but you write it. And pass that book down to your children, children's children. If we depend on technology, we won't have it. Because I remember when technology was just a cassette tape. That's how far I go back. And you take it and you slice it. Now technology is in the clouds. But guess what? Books are still the same. They're books. And we can still read it. But even in the theologian world, the Bible stood this test of time because it was printed in a book. Because if it wasn't, we have changed the intent, we have changed this, we have changed that, and we have changed that. But once it's in print, you can read the intent of the author. So if you have a book in you, write that book. I remember this is my first book that I've written that was published. I'm not counting my dissertation. I count some work that I did moving toward getting a doctorate. And I remember asking a friend of mine, how did he become a great writer? And he shared with me that he had 47 books that he had penned. And all his books was in the educational field, tech field. And they all was money-making books. So I can call his name Dr. Payne. As Dr. Payne, how do you do it? And at this time, I was in the military. And in the military, according to what unit that you're in, you're going to do physical training. I was in combat arms. Units like the Black Hawk horse, 37 Cav, 1st Cav. You're going to run at least 3 days a week. And when I was in Echo Troop Cavalry, we ran every day. Every day we did physical training. You're either going to do 2 to 5 miles. I'm talking about every day or 3 times a week. You're going to run. They don't care how your last night was, or if it's raining, you're still going to run. If it's snowing, you're still going to run. You're going to run. And at that time, all of this was up here because we did physical training. And he asked me, he says, how many days do you do physical training? I told him. He said, how often do you go to the gym and lift weights? And I told him. He said, well, that's the same way you learn to write. He said, write a paragraph every day. He said, same way you could run 2 to 5 miles, you sit down and write a paragraph every day. And I began to think about that. And he said, the same way that muscles are built on your body from running every day, from lifting weights, the same way when you write every day, you begin to learn to write better. You begin to identify your mistakes. You begin to seek other ways to write. So I want to challenge people out there. If there's a book in you, and you want to pass something to the next generation, write a book. Many times, seniors, parents, we feel that we're not getting a return on our dollar because sometimes we want to give our kids money, we want to give them things, and sometimes the more money we give them, the more money we leave behind for them. All they're going to do is buy another car, buy another home, so forth and so on. But if we can leave them a will to succeed, leave them an attitude to become a great achiever, and leave them this motivation of being hungry for success, it goes much further. So let's build a better who we are. And to build a better who we are, there's certain things I think that must be in place. You got to be able to manage conflicts. Because in our lives, we're going to have some conflicts. We're going to have them. So the question is that, since I know they're coming, how do we manage these conflicts? How do we do it? I was listening to a story of a young man, he got life in prison. And he killed his wife. And shooting his wife, he ended up killing one of his children. Because the wife, when he was shooting the wife ran and hurt herself around the kids for protection. And the bullet went through the wife and killed the child. And he was interviewing the guy, and they asked him, why you killed your children? And he said, I love my children. What happened was, I was shooting the wife, and the bullet went through her and killed the child. Then they asked him, so why did you shoot your wife? He said, because she snitched on me. And I'm sitting there listening to him. He said, what happened was, she was helping me out. She knew what I did was wrong, but then she went and told the authority on me. And he said, I don't need a wife to snitch on me. And I said, wow, so the child is dead, the wife is dead, and the man is in prison for life because of a conflict that they couldn't solve. They couldn't solve it. And just, I would say about 2 weeks ago, here in Memphis, Tennessee, there was a young pastor, assistant pastor, I'm sorry, of a well-known church. The lady, the outside lady, fell in love with him, and she knew he was married. He knew he was married. But she said, if I can't have you, no one will have you. And she killed the guy. She killed the pastor. She went to his home. The wife invited her in because they all knew her. But she fell in love with him. So now she's gonna get life in prison. The wife doesn't have a hubby no more, and the hubby's dead. Conflicts. And I'm sure there was a better way to solve this without killing. And I'm sure in your lives that there are some conflicts that you wish you had to walk away from. I know in my life there are many that I wish I had to walk away from instead of sitting there or staying there, arguing, going back and forth, building up anger, building up anxiety, building up hatred, instead of walking away. We got to do a better job in that. And that's all about building a better you. Another thing we have to do, and this is a pamphlet that I use when I lecture to a smaller group, we got to be able to build relationships. I'm talking about solid, good relationship where the person cares for me and I care for them. In the military, for 20 years I had a chance to move around the country and to meet some good people. I had a chance to be over some good people as well as work beside some good people and work up under some good leadership. Now, there's some bad stuff out there too, but you have opportunity to build a good relationship. And by building a good relationship, it helps you. It better who you are. I have a friend of mine, I'll call his name, Ricky Owens. I met Ricky, I want to say 1982, 81, 82. We was in Fort Hill, Texas. And we was training for SWAT team. They had us on standby for a reaction force. And Rick was in one unit and I was in another unit, but each week, each person had that responsibility for SWAT training. And I had a chance to meet him because I took the responsibility from him, and he gave me some tips that he learned, and so we built that relationship. And I met him again in Germany, in Mannheim, Germany. There we was part of 37 CAV, very tough unit, hard unit, but really make you depend on each other. Well, going forward, him and I, we stayed friends and built a trust relationship. And he retired, I retired, and he's into physical training. And he's about 63 and look good. Now here, a man tell another man he looks good. He looks good. So I called him, I said, Rick, what are you doing? And he's doing 45 minutes of step bike training. It's like a bicycle, but it has steps and you go back and forth, back and forth. Matter of fact, I put a picture of myself on there. And he has motivated me to work out with this type of step training because it moves the whole body. And the first time I started, I couldn't last a minute. Wore me out. 1 minute on there. And he's doing 45 minutes at level 7. And I would call him every night and say, hey, Rick, just to hear his voice, because he's still doing it. And now I'm at level 7, and I'm doing 20 minutes. But the point that I'm trying to say, if I want a better body, I need to have a relationship with people who are doing the same thing. By him being in physical training, and I want to move to that level where in my old age, I can look good, feel good, and have the fullness of life. So I need to have a relationship with people who are going that way. And that may be something small. But to be on this step cycle and working out, where I couldn't do 1 minute, now I'm doing 20 minutes, and my goal is to do 45 minutes and then end up with 60 minutes. So we kind of tit-tat off with each other. And we live miles away from each other, because I live here in Memphis, Tennessee. He lives in Washington, D.C. So as you build a better you, find someone that you can have a relationship where you can trust each other, and that person can critique you, you can critique that person, and neither one of y'all are yes to each other, that you can better who you are. That is a big part of building a better you. Because sometimes people can see things in you that you cannot see in yourself. And you can be open up to that because you say, this person cares enough for me to say, hey, Ivory, keep on going. Hey, Ivory, lay off the sugar. Hey, Ivory, you don't need no Cokes. Hey, Ivory, guess what? Leave this type of food alone. Eat this type of food, and this will be the results. I have another friend who gave me some sad news. He has stomach cancer. And they made him a new stomach. He had to go to Minnesota. And they took his old stomach out, took some of the tissues and everything, and went to the lab, and they transformed and made a new stomach. Research. And he's doing well. He's in the mid-50s. But because of research, and because of him taking a chance, his life was prolonged. And the reason why I'm saying this, many times people will tell you that college or art education is not for everyone. Don't buy on that. Education is for everyone. Just think, if we didn't have some kids to go into research, or students to go into research, and find out ways to prolong the body, or ways to prolong our health, then many of us would die at our early age. Your talent or your skill is needed in the workplace. One, find what your talent is. Find what your skill is. And then guess what? Add it to the workplace. That's how you build a better you relationship. Another way is good leadership. In other words, before you are able to lead others, be able to lead your own self. Be able to have discipline with your own self. Be able to be your own friend. Be able to encourage your own self. Because many people tell people things, and it's not right. And sometimes we receive these things, and we do things because of others, not because of who we are. So be that good leader within who you are. In other words, if you know you need to get up, get up. If you know you need to eat right, eat right. You know you need to have other trainable skills, have other trainable skills. If you know you need more discipline in your life, you do it. Because in the African community, cholesterol is a huge problem. Diabetes is a huge problem. Sex disease is a huge problem. Mental illness is a huge problem. Anxiety or stress is a huge problem. So now, if we know that, then we must sit down and say, hey, what can I do to make myself better in order to tackle those things in life? And that's what I mean by build a better you. Recognize where you're going, recognize where you come from, and recognize where you are. And say, my life has value. And I must work hard in order to implement the value in my life. So, to go over the things that we said earlier, I got to be able to manage conflicts in my life. Don't give up. If Tiger Woods had given up, he would not have gotten his 5th green jacket. You got to put the hard work in. You got to be able to separate yourself from a person who decided they're not going any place to a person who decided they're going somewhere. And the thing is, I got to build a relationship with someone. someone could be able to tell me no or tell me yes. A build relationship with someone that can tell me the truth. Not so much what I want to hear, but tell me the truth. And build a leadership within who you are. Because at the end of the day, it's your decision where you're going and how you're going to get there. Because people tell you that if it was them, they'll do this, they'll do that. But when things go wrong, it's you who are left behind. So learn to be that leader within yourself. Learn to find things that will make you happy. Make you happy. As I tell caretakers or caregivers, taking care of someone is great. I support that because it's going to come a time in life that I'm going to need someone to usher me in and usher me out. But you need to take a little time for yourself that it would enrich you and better you. And I always hats off to a person who take care of others. But also, I hats off to people who invest in themselves. Invest in yourself and look for a good return or a better return. And at the end of the day, we can live our life to the fullness. I mean, to the fullness. Whatever life brings, you can say, hey, I live my life to the fullness. As being a former CEO of a healthcare company, I had the opportunity to visit a lot of care homes or convalescent homes or some call them nursing homes. I had a chance to talk to 3 different types of people. And when I go in there, I basically listen. Some people in there and they're angry because of some of the choices they made in life. Now they said, Dr. Taylor, if I can just do it again, one more time, I would have not done this. And I mean, some people in life, they're angry at others because they didn't put a stop to how they treated them. They're angry. And I met some of them, they're bubbling over because they say, I'm happy. And I said, why are you happy? They said, because everything I want to achieve in life, I did it. And they accept the end of life now. They accept it. And they said, it's been good. I've been up, I've been down, did some crazy things, but yet still, I did some good things. So the question still remains for you. At the end of your life, can you say, it's been good or it's been bad? Am I happy or am I angry? Am I saying, if it went for that person, I wouldn't be here. If it went for that person, I wouldn't be here. Did we make good choices or did we make bad choices? At the end of the day, we have to get to a place, I'm saying we have to, because I'm talking to myself too, to where we build a better who we are. I want to leave you with a quote that I always tell people. And the question was asked, build a better you. And the person asked God, said, Lord, how can I do it? How can I build a better world? Because the world is such a vast place. It's so big, it's so huge. And the voice of God came to that person and says, just build a better you. When it's all over, it's about how can I be better? In the words of Dr. Cole, he told me 4 things that move a person towards success. I hope I remember. He said, dance to the max of the tune and dance as though no one is looking. You just dance. Just dance. He said, live as though there is no tomorrow. As though when the sun is set, you say, hey, it's been good. It's been good. And he says, love as though you've never been hurt before. Just love. Love as though you've never been hurt before. And he says, find a cause in life that you're willing to work for and don't get paid. Thank you very, very much for your time. And remember, when you look at this this site of M1, share it with someone else. We are building our brand, restructuring the company now, and we need you to be a part of us rebuilding. And I want to thank you for your time. So share this with someone else. Follow me. I encourage you, and you encourage me. Thank you very much.